We're gonna paint it using the dry brush technique. So if you want to learn how to paint an easy and beautiful tree as well as master a new technique, then keep watching this video. Okay, let's get started. I load cadmium red light into my brush, load well. Take a paper towel and start blotting out the water from my brush. Wipe it well on a paper towel and start applying my first strokes in dry technique. The texture of your paper works, so you need to have grain thin or raw paper for this technique. On other textures it will be more difficult to get a good result. I basically use a brush with a belly and run it over the paper and I get uneven strokes. This pigment is on the texture of the paper and makes such an incredible effect. I apply cadmium red light on top, as always starting from the left side. I just loaded a more intense pigment into my brush and applied more to make a brighter red tint. I load carmine into my brush and also wipe excess water on a paper towel, leaving the brush almost dry. And overlap the already applied red pigment. Go down to the bottom of the tree and as you can see, pink tint of the foliage began to appear. I load the pigment into my brush again and wipe it off again. If more rogue strokes happen, then you have a lot of pigment on your brush. It's okay, don't worry. This will also look good. It will look as if the leaves have accumulated in one spot. I load pink pigment again and apply as if branches are clearly directed from the trunk to the side. Load dark carmine. This is a mix of burnt sienna with carmine, and wipe excess water on a paper towel. And here I start to lay down a dark mix on top, overlap the previous layers by adding shadows to them. I go down below. The bottom of the tree has more shadows. The texture of the paper makes it work perfectly, make the tree shape, as if all the leaves come from the trunk, from the middle. I add more shadows from different sides. I show that more such already dried leaves come out outside our shape. And I try to apply a dark mix more intensely. I load the mix into my brush and put it on the top. I go a little beyond a tree shape. I can imagine what my tree can be. You can make it in any shape and in any color. It depends only on you and you can use the colors that you have. So it's totally up to you. The most important thing is to keep the color gradation, light hue, medium and dark tones to make a play of light and shadow. I have already put basic colors to foliage shape and now I start painting the tree trunk. I load a mix of burnt sienna with paint gray and I put the trunk in the middle of the tree. I put my first stroke on the left side and make it thicker, applying the pigment. I rinse my brush in water and blot it on a paper towel. and with some water into my brush, I paint the trunk on the right side by pulling the pigment and getting a natural gradient. Looks amazing! Working on the trunk gradually, grabbing brown mix again and running it along the line. I darken the trunk and I'm going to add a ground line. I put my line on which my tree grows. I rinse my brush in water and make a smooth gradient. Put brown pigment on the ground and pull my pigment with clean water into my brush. For convenience, I tilt my paper and help the pigment to blend. You can try this way as well. I grab deep red hue and put it on the ground line, getting a nice gradient. It's our fallen tree leaves lying on the ground. I'm going to use a size 2 round brush and load a mix of burnt sienna and Payne's Grey, which I still have on my palette, and if you have run out of the mix, you can of course add it again by varying hues, lighter or darker. I wash off the excess water from my brush on a paper towel and I'm going to add some tree branches. All branches come from the trunk. Work gently. Don't press hard on your brush and work with the tip of your brush. Work with lines. Put a little pressure on the brush, on the tip of the brush, and make the pressure more easily at the end. So I slightly break the line. Branches go beyond our tree shape, especially at the top of leaves. If you put a very thick line, you can always press down with your finger, so you will smooth it and a little and the line will get less intense. Here's such a trick. Paint branches at the top of the tree. You can paint them as much as you like. If you want, you can not paint them at all, or you can add a lot of them, or you can even add little leaves. It all depends on you and your vision. I even added branches to the bottom of my tree. This tree is a project for my class all about trees. You can watch it on Skillshare for free. The link is below in the description section. If you don't have a premium Skillshare subscription, then follow my link and you will get 1 month free. In my class, I explain in detail the techniques, the color palette, and sketch the basic shapes of the trees. That's all. This tree is done. I'm happy with my result. Here is my beautiful pink fall tree, and you do as you like and paint. The main thing is to enjoy your process. See how my paper texture worked in this technique. See you in the next video.